Have you ever wondered what it would feel like to make your first $1,000? Not just dreaming about it, but seeing it in your bank account. It's more than just a number. It shows you're capable of achieving all of your financial goals. Maybe it's for paying off debt, starting an emergency fund, or you want to do some things like invest in yourself or start a business. Whatever the reason is, that first $1,000 is a milestone because it shows you what's possible when you really put your mind to something. And it's more than just money in the bank. It's a stepping stone, setting the foundation and paving the way for your journey to financial freedom. No matter where you are right now in your journey, there are practical steps you can take to make this happen, not only soon, but now. Now, there's a few ways to get, not even a few really, there's a lot of ways to get to your first $1,000. But before you get started, there's a big thing you want to think about. And that is, why do you need the money? What are you doing this for, right? That is going to determine how fast you get the money, what you need to do to get the money, how risky you can be, how risk averse you need to be. There's a lot of things that come into play. So it's going to help you see what you need to do, right? If it's to get an emergency fund, just to start an emergency fund, you may have time, you may have 6 months. So now you have these set of options. If it's for actual emergency, like something came up and you need the money like now, then you maybe have to do certain, take on other risks, things you may not normally do in a regular situation, right? You can't put $100, $200 in the index fund if you need $1,000 in 30 days. You dig what I'm saying? So we want to think about these things and understand first why we're doing this, right? Is it business capital, ABC. So let's get that established first. Once we establish why we're doing this, now we can go into the different ways there are to make money. One of the biggest ways and the most known ways and the best ways is by proper saving. We want to start to be able to save our money. Now, how do we do this, right? Obviously, one, we need to have a budget, okay? We need to start tracking our expenses and tracking our income. How much money is coming in? Like, do you even know how much money you make every month? I don't mean just from your job, like, oh, your salary is $50,000, $60,000. No, I mean, how much you really have coming in after your insurance deductions, after all these things, even leftover income, all your bills, right? Your rent, your car note, after insurance, after groceries, miscellaneous spending, right? We shop on Amazon, we go to Walmart, you buying the car detail and stuff, you have a car wash membership, you got a gym membership. After all these things come up, what do you have left over? Don't just rely on your bank account statement telling you what you have. You want to see where it's going. And this is when you get to the other side, right? You have to track the expenses to know how much you have left over. So we track our income, track our expenses so we can see our net, right? Our net income, what's left over. Expenses, where is all this money coming out of? Where is money going that we can maybe mitigate or minimize the expenses on? So do you have an old gym membership, right, that you forgot to cancel that's costing you $30 a month? As you're going through and you're tracking your expenses through a expense tracking software, I should have some link in the description below too, so go down there and look at tools I use personally, right? But for me and my family, we track everything. I've been doing this for almost a decade. Track everything. You should look and see, man, I'm still paying for 2 gym memberships. Boom. That's $30 to $40 freed up right there, okay? Do you have old car wash memberships? Do you have things like Amazon where you might be spending $450? You don't even know it. Now you can go into Amazon, you can say, what am I actually spending money on? Let's dissect this. So we want to make sure, number one, we have our foundation down, which is saving money. And you don't do that by tracking your income, tracking your expenses, and then seeing and getting that net income a lot bigger. After we know how to properly save and properly budget, we now have to increase our income. The reason I count these as steps personally is because they're kind of in order. You want to be able to save money, make money, and then multiply your money, right? So I say manage, make, multiply. That's what I preach. That's what I teach, okay? So the foundation is saving money. How do you budget the money you have? How good do you budget what you do? If you have $2,000, how good can you budget it? There's no way to get to the point I've gotten to making mostly 5 figures in certain past businesses and stuff like that if I didn't have a good foundation to be able to manage money. So if I couldn't manage a paycheck of $2,000 every 2 weeks, there's no way I was able to manage $20,000 plus I was making. So it starts with saving. Once we save, now we can focus on increasing our income. This could be through getting a part-time job, utilizing overtime at your job if you get it. Picking up a skill or riding Uber or Lyft or something after work, whatever it may be up front Do what you got to do. But it's also how you can get to that, that saving goal of $1,000 a lot faster. But remember, when you make more, don't go spend more. That's why I said these really to me are steps, because the first one, you need to get the saving in order, and you want to put a clamp and put a grip on those expenses, right? Put that thing put it in the chokehold. You know what I'm saying? It's trying to take your money from you. You got to get it. So put your expenses in the chokehold, lock it up so it's not going to increase. Now, when you're driving Uber, you're driving Lyft, you're doing Amazon, DoorDash, whatever, right? This is seasonal. This is not like a long-term thing. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you got to do, get your little part-time job. We get started right here, all right? This is not for life. This is for now. You know what I'm saying? Where you're going to be in 10 years is not where you're going to be at right now. So do what you got to do and get your money up. This is temporary, right? Temporary sacrifice for a long-term gain. So never forget that. So whatever you got to do to get your money right, get your money right. Because what matters is making sure you good and your family good. That's it. So let's get our income up. The next step, now we want to utilize skills, okay? Now we want to take that. We got a good foundation, whether it's for a emergency fund, emergency, whatever it is. The reason is not important, because the fact is, if you could save money $1,000 one time, you do it 10 more times, now you got 10,000. You do it at 10,000, 10 more times, you got 100,000. How we get there, right, is going to change, but the principle stays the same. So now we want to begin to speed this up. We want to go get a skill now. We want to take some of that money that we're making, or we keep working, if it's for a savings or emergency fund, right? And we keep making money, keep working out overtime or whatever you're doing. Now we want to start investing in ourselves. We want to start to go get a skill that we can learn that eventually help pay our bills, that can bring us your income. For me, y'all know it's day trading. Day trading is a skill that you can do from anywhere in the world. Yes, it's hard, but it's so worth it, right? And the thing is, it's not hard to master. It just takes the right teacher. So is it hard to make $100,000 a month? Yeah, that takes a certain person. But truthfully, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, making $1,000, $2,000 a month from trading is like simple. It's really simple. And the thing is too, this is not, you can't lose this skill. Like, once you learn this skill, you have it for life. So you could put in that money, that time, and now that $1,000, $2,000 is something you can do forever. You can do it on the beach. You can do it at a family reunion, visiting family. You can do it after work. You can do it anywhere. So I truly believe you need to invest in yourself. I believe in day trading. Link in the description. You can go see course if you want to. Watch more videos. We have more ideas and things as well. But that's what I do, and that's a good way as well. But there's a lot of other options out here. Whatever you want to do, pick what fits for you. You know what I'm saying? But you want to get a skill in some way, whatever shape or form it is. That way we can have something that we can really invest in, because investing in ourselves is the key. We cannot rely on a job feeding us forever. We cannot rely on a job feeding our family. We cannot rely on a stock market to take care of us forever, right? The stock market doesn't care about your child. The stock market doesn't care about your grandmother. The stock market doesn't care about your mother. They don't care about nobody, right? It cares about itself. It's just the market. So we got to take care of ourselves, man. So let's go get a skill, and so we can increase that income as well. And then ultimately, we can use that skill to turn into a business endeavor. So there's a whole formula for this, right? To manage money, make money, multiply money, you want to be able to have your savings right. I'm giving you a good summary right now. So make sure you look good. Get your pen out, get your paper. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you're taking your notes now. Manage money, make money, multiply. Make sure you're saving your money, you allocating everything. You know where your income is, you know where your expenses are. Now we need to increase our income. We need to get that basically a good safety net, a good foundation. Let's get our savings up. Let's get our money right. Now we want to get a skill that eventually start paying our bills, okay? A skill that'll pay your bills. You can't forget it. It rhymes, right? Bet. Now that you got that, hopefully we can get a skill, and these skills will start to stack on top of each other, and eventually will help make a business. You can create a business from it and then start to go in on your entrepreneur endeavors. So along the journey, you can stop wherever you want, but I'm just showing you the process and the sequence of things. Once you know where you're trying to go along your financial freedom journey, whether you're just saving money, you want to save money and increase money, or you want to do what I preach, which is save, increase your income, and actually get a skill that you can ultimately pay your bills and then eventually turn into a business if you want. Once you know what you're aiming for, now we need to get a plan. So how long is it going to take? Once you know your expenses and stuff, if you want to just save money, how long would it take you to save $1,000? How much money do you need to save per paycheck? Maybe you say, you know what, hey, you can save $200 extra per paycheck. Cool. So per paycheck, that's twice a month. If you get paid the 1st and the 15th, for example, right? Okay, bet. That's $400 a month. So you should be there in 2.5 months. For 2.5 months, you want to make sure you're not only monitoring your money, but you're monitoring your behavior, your spending habits. Because it's easy to get started and you start seeing that money and you're like, oh man, I could do this, I could do that. Or sometimes too, it seems like, as soon as you start making that money, it's like, man, it seems like things keep happening. A new bill came up, a new obligation came up. Man, you just can't get ahead. That's why it's so important to get a skill. We got to get a skill that start paying our bills. We want to invest into ourselves because that's the one thing you cannot get a cap on your return, on your investment, right? You cannot get a cap on your return. You have infinite return with yourself. The more you put into yourself, the better you will be. It's as simple as that. So you can never go wrong with investing in yourself. The next thing we want to do is treat ourselves like a business. A business has a plan. A business has structure. A business tracks their expenses. Don't forget that now. All these things, man. So this is kind of slept on. This is kind of unconventional, but your family is your number one business. You are your number one business. You have to treat yourself like a business. There's no business that's successful that doesn't know where their money's not going. There's no business that's successful that doesn't know how much each employee is working. How much each manager is working. So you need to know how much are you really working for this income. How much are you putting in your part-time? You can say, oh, it's not working. You've been trying, but have you really? Have you got a part-time job? If so, how many hours? Oh, well, you've been working 20 hours a week, but how much money is going out? See, you might be making more money, but you're spending more money. Because you think, oh, well, I deserve it. I need to go get this shopping or this bag or my nails done or my toes done. Nah, you need to sit your ass still and you need to save this money. That's what you need to do. So treat yourself like a business, man. Because the same way your job is tracking you, you need to track yourself. It's the only way you get to your first $1,000. You got to change things and start doing things different that you have not done. In order to get something you've never had, you have to do things you've never done. Treat this like a business because it is a business. It's in your best interest. Now, a big thing we want to be prepared for and have a plan for is contingency, right? What is contingency planning? Contingency planning pretty much is a shit happens bucket because stuff is going to happen. You're going to save. You may need brakes on your car. Your child may need something for school that you have to pay for. You may need an oil change. There's going to be things in life that happen that you're going to have to pay for. But you can't let that derail you or get you off all your tracks and lose all the progress that you have built up to this point. You want to plan for that. So using the same example we had, if we have where we can save $200 every paycheck because we track all our expenses, we track our income, we know what we can do, right? A certain percentage needs to be allocated to a contingency, aka shit happens bucket. You know what I'm saying? So out of that $200, we might say, you know what? We're going to set aside $50 into this little area, right? Another bank account if you need to. I call it JIC, just in case, just in case something happens. So really that $175 should not get touched every 2 weeks. And you're setting aside $150, excuse me, you said it's $50. So that $150 should not get touched. We know, hey, we're on track. Now, if something does happen, you need to get brakes, you need to get an oil change. Now you have that separate bank account that you've been putting that extra $50 every 2 weeks in that you can pull from that from. So it doesn't take you away from your whole main goal. And the best thing is whatever's left over at the end, you get to keep. So if you get 3.5 months in, and you made your 1,000, but you still have $200 left in that contingency, congratulations. You just saved $1,200. Think about that now. So now you've exceeded the goal. So there's no excuse. Now you know you can do it. You know what I'm saying? So contingency planning is very important. A lot of people don't talk about it, but always know stuff is going to happen in life. So make sure you plan for it accordingly. And what I believe the most important piece is to check in regularly with yourself. Review your goals. Always look, especially with something like this, right? If you're working on your first $1,000, that means a lot of this stuff is brand new to you. You are not used to doing it, right? Or you would have $1,000 or more money, So make sure you're checking in on yourself. Check on your progress. Look at the plan you made. See where you're at. How are you coming along? How much money you saving? Are you ahead of schedule? Are you behind schedule? And figure out why. You want to hold yourself accountable so that way you can achieve this. Because again, this is a great milestone. But it's new. And like anything new, it'll be a little difficult. But difficult is not impossible. All right? Difficult is not impossible. I do my best to provide as much value as I can for you guys, not only in my videos, but also in my paid products and services below. So go down to my link in my bio, check that out. I list things like the courses I have, investment products, tools I use, all type of stuff. And again, I give a lot of value as well in my videos. So If you like this type of content, I'm gonna need you to do two things for me. Because if you came this far, one, I know you family. You know what I'm saying? Number one, text this video to somebody, right? Be a blessing to somebody. Somebody needs to see this. There's somebody in your family, somebody in your circle, somebody in your friend group who needs to hear this message in order to help them get to their first $1,000 or beyond. So text this to them and be a blessing to them. And then number two, subscribe to the channel, man. If you like making money, make sure you subscribe. If you don't like making money, then don't subscribe. It's that simple. Much love.